Hello, and welcome back to Doomed, solo playthroughs through Arkham Horror, the card game with a focus on roleplay and storytelling. I'm very overlit. I'm all kerfuffled because I have this stream setup normally reserved for people like H. Horatio, Humferson, etc. So I'm Alice. Flower. I changed the on-screen title to Arkham Horror, the card game, changed for viewers like you. Anyway, if you didn't see it, that's joke's ruined. Oh, thanks, Crosshair. Really? Damn. Man, maybe I should be going back and checking my old VODs. We're always iterating here on Doomed, you know? Iterating and reiterating and making things better for viewers like you. Hello, welcome back to Doomed. I'm not going to do the whole intro again. I am actually chuffed to be back. We are having a little aperitif, a little taster of a standalone scenario today. Because next Saturday there's no Doomed, because I'm at Netrunner Continentals, organized by Johnny Kate, which is very exciting. Netrunner, my other card game love. Also Monster Train, my other card game love. Also Slay the Spire, my other also Inscription, my other card game love. Anyway, oh, I see how it is, Flower. Wait, hang on, you can do that live? Okay, let's get started. In 2 weeks' time on Doomed, we are going to be starting something new, Twoomed, which is not new in conceptually, of course, but we're going to be going back to a co-op Doomed stream. Graspy and I will be attempting... I should shake my head because I know it's going to, my heart's going to stop beating a few times. Return to the Forgotten Age with a lovely thematic pairing on hard. So if you like watching me pull tokens and do this, you can tune into that. Oh, I like that a lot, Flower. Oh, geez, did I ever actually open TTS? Scott, get it together. Big welcome to all of the folks in chat: Crosshair, Flower, Blanky Cat, and Aragwen, I think I saw lurking, and a big old welcome to Alice Sneck, who followed. Thank you, Alice. We love snacks around here. That's all I have to say about that. Do I have anything else to say? Not too much. I kind of want to just dive in because I would like to try to do this whole scenario in one stream. And you know I love to yap. So that's going to be tough. We're going to, of course, we'll do a little... We don't have to do a story so far, but we'll do background on the investigator in question. We'll do the drawing of the weakness. And then we'll dive into this scenario. Today, we are playing a fan-made scenario, The Fall of the House of Usher. If you're not familiar, it's a short story by Edgar Allan Poe, whose work I think is fucking impeccable. Pardon my French. The vibes, guys. It was also recently... The title was co-opted for a television series by... Oh, I can't remember the guy's name right now, because I always do that. Which actually was, the whole television series was themed around various Poe stories, or adapted various Poe stories into one overarching narrative, which I actually thought was really clever considering what Fall of the House of Usher is about. It worked well. Oh, what's his name? That's gonna bother me. Yeah, what else do I have to say? That's it. We're playing a fan-made scenario, which we've done a couple times on the stream. Yes, and Crosshair is also correct. The Fall of the House of the rapper formerly known as Usher. Okay, Alice, I'm not gonna do all my recommends right now, but House of Usher is actually probably one of the pieces of his... I did a couple of streams where I was reading them out loud. We couldn't do Drew Crew, so we did the Poe show. Hold up, Alice Sneck, are you aware of Drew Crew? In 4 hours' time, so over on Liz's channel, we read Nancy Drew books. Thank you, Crosshair. That's the one. We read Nancy Drew books with silly voices and silly commentary, and it's a real blast. I only promote Twitch channels that I'm not on. Okay, great. Okay, cool. If you can make it. Not everyone can. Anyway, this probably isn't my favorite of Poe's stories that I've read. I do think the sense of creeping dread is very strong. He's very good at that sort of thing, famously. But so I'm not going to put it up there with The Raven. But I am with Blanky Cat. It's a really cool conceit for a television series. They took the framework of Fall of the House of Usher and said, instead of just about a couple of folks, what if it was about a family? And then each episode of this is the demise of and the downfall of a different child in the family because of an ongoing curse, whatever. It's pretty dope. And yes, Crosshair's correct. We love a house. We love a spooky house in Arkham Horror, the card game. Theological Bear, hello, welcome to Doomed. Wonderful to see you, and happy to have you. Oh, no, Flower. Good memory, though. That is probably my favorite Poe story, The Mask of Red Death, which is dope as hell. So, Alice, not today, but the television show, yes. The television show, yes, for sure. The television show, I would just say, should just say content warning, and that's all it says. It's a great show. I really enjoyed it, because it's not that it didn't take itself seriously, but it's very melodramatic in the way that a lot of Poe is, and it leaned into that, which I loved. Dope? A shell. Thanks, Eric. Yes, Blanky Cat. Yes, exactly. Oh, man. The unnameable. And thank you, Crosshair. Yes, we are, however, dealing with, in Arkham Horror, the card game, card art or cards or story elements may refer to body horror, monsters, and a variety of phobias and death that I don't know about before we dive in, because I do play these without knowing what's going on. Burp! So, just a heads up on that front. Keep yourself safe. If you need to leave for any reason, I'm not going to be mad at you. Great. Okay. Should I close? I should do this. I just need to be able to see everybody a bit better. Okay, let's dive in. My friends, today we... Come on. There you go. I just want to, get to it because I'm so excited. Theological Bear is correct. So, spoiler alert, we're going to have some spoons. Do I have anything else to say? News or whatever? As I mentioned just at the top of the stream, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be starting a Twomed with Graspy Loot, Return to the Forgotten Age on hard. I considered doing today's stream on hard mode, and then I was like, you don't want to. And also, you'll appreciate this later. And next week, I'm hoping there will be updates in the Discord as to the Netrunner North American Continentals being held in Montreal and organized in large part by John and Kate, RPG Clinic members, which I am so excited to be attending. I'm so excited to lose wholeheartedly to the nicest people you've ever met. There's a lot of great folks, actually, and I'm really jazzed. Okay. We should start by talking about our investigator before we discuss the story, because I imagine this scenario is going to follow this story of the narrative of the short story pretty... Oh, yeah, thank you, Crosshair. Yes, next Friday and Saturday and Sunday, we are streamless. John and Kate are unavailable, I'm unavailable, and Liz will also be unavailable, but not because of Netrunner. So, yes, no cat house. What the hell? Flower, no! Flower, no! I would like to introduce you to... Oh, do it, Crosshair. I would promote your takeover. I would like to introduce you to our investigator for today, Gloria Goldberg, the writer. Now, I want to do a little reveal because I think some of her card art is better than others. So I want to just show you. This is Gloria Goldberg, the official release from the Drowned City. You can see she's thinking. She's got a nice hat. And she's probably in her 50s or 60s. Clairvoyant. We'll talk about her ability and stuff in a moment, but this is her. Okay. Well, good question, Flower. So here she is on the art. I agree with Theo. She does look like she enjoys caramel hard candy. Here she is on her unique card where she looks like 70. Here she is on Deliverance where she looks, I don't know, but she's like kicking ass over there, wearing jodhpurs. But the art that we will be embracing as the real art of Gloria Goldberg is the most Alan Wake of the art. Oh shit, where it's down here. I gotta go find it. Is she a shapeshifter? Look how dope this is! Look at this art! So, Gloria Goldberg, the writer, if you know anything about Alan Wake and the Control, like the Remedyverse or whatever, it's the same idea, okay? We'll be looking at her story momentarily, but I like to think of her working alone in a cabin in the dark place, writing stories that come to life, which, well, let's talk about. What do we know about our good friend Gloria Goldberg? Exactly. Blanky Cat is correct. This is the art from the original release. She was released as a parallel investigator, or as an investigator as part of a novel tie-in. I don't know what novel. I'm not that kind of guy. I don't know. I am that kind of guy. I love a good book. Yeah, I mean, basically theological. That's pretty good, actually. All right, let's see what her deal is here, huh? Crosshair? I don't think you're wrong, buddy. Let's have a look. Nightmares and apocalyptic visions have plagued novelist Gloria Goldberg her entire life. Gloria's scary. Oh, I thought you were going to say scary short stories, Aragwen. Or is it just that she's scary? Although she learned to exercise her terrors onto the page, she's never revealed the inspiration for her weird tales, not even to fellow author Jamie Galbraith. One day, she... Wait, what the fuck is this? Sorry, hang on. This is her background from the other version. I want to read her Drowned City background. No. Hang on. I was in the middle of that. Let's finish this, and then we'll read her other bit as well. One day, she is struck by a vision of Jamie begging her to help finish what he started. Moments later, she receives words of his sudden death. As Gloria reads Jamie's unfinished book, the story takes hold of her, and the words on the page begin to bleed into reality. Ooh. Her Drowned City intro is different, I believe. Let's continue. Yeah, sorry, Aragwen. I freaked out a little bit. I was like, who's Galbraith? Gal Gadot Braith. As a young girl, Gloria was haunted by terrible visions. After years of visiting doctors, she learned to exorcise those visions by writing stories. Her weird and disturbing fiction somehow spoke to the public and made her a best-selling writer. You go, girl. But while visiting Arkham, she had the most powerful vision she's ever experienced. The sky tore open, a monstrous form pouring out of the very air itself. Gloria knew, somehow, that this vision was real, and that it would come to pass unless she did something about it. So in... Hey, look, Theo, you just keep on trucking. I think if you put your mind to it, if you try hard enough... I'm kidding. That's very true. Also, is she smoking in this art? Right away, Alex. Also, hello, Alex. Welcome to Doomed. Wonderful to have you with us. It's steam from her mug of coffee or tea. So Gloria... The lore here is that her disturbing visions have plagued her ever since childhood. She can kind of put them onto the page and then get them out of her head, but then perhaps they sometimes come true. Nice. That's what I like to see, Theo. Yeah! Until she came to Arkham, when she had an absolutely terrifying vision, the most powerful she's ever experienced, and she knew that it would come to pass. Now, how are we going to tie this into the story? In the story, The Fall of the House of Usher, the narrator, who I believe is also a writer, receives a letter from an old dear friend who he hasn't seen for a long time, Roderick Usher, who's like, I'm very ill. I'm very ill and I'm very sick. Come to my old ramshackle house, please. And he does. We will see what this intro says. It's probably going to have something else in it that isn't so direct, but we'll see. I like Crosshair's idea. I'm wondering if Gloria saw this vision of the end and kind of took to her cabin in the Massachusetts woods, and was just like, I need to find and write the ending to this that isn't the apocalypse, that isn't the end of the world. Similarly, what I'm drawing on here is in Alan Wake, in the mythos of Alan Wake, he doesn't kind of understand for some time, but his fiction comes true. His fiction informs the world around him as well. So there you go. Great question, Flower. I wish it was on this art. Can someone maybe check on the internet? I actually don't know. But thank you, Flower. I will try to credit that in the YouTube description. Alex, was it the most recent Werewolf the Apocalypse game? Or something else? Please let me know. I would love to know what you were playing and whether it was good. Okay, that's kind of where Gloria's at. She's clairvoyant, she can see things, extrasensory perception and all that, and then she can transfer it onto the page to have it come true, so she can try to affect the world around it. Earthblood! That's the, like, action-adventure game, right? That came out recently? That's not... Or there's, like, a visual... Condolences! Goddamn. There's also a visual novel, I think. Now, let us have a look at Gloria's ability, so that we all know what we're dealing with here before we dive into the story, or before we draw a weakness and dive into the story. Gloria Goldberg, the writer, has 5 willpower, 4 intellect, 2 combat, and 1 agility. So, she's a bit frail, but a lifetime of writing and mystic powers has given her a lot of willpower and intellect. The first ability on her card doesn't help us at all. It says, you choose the investigator order during the mythos phase, but I love that. She can be like, no, you go first. You go through that door first, you know, like, or whatever. Okay, she has a reaction ability. This is a bit complicated, so bear with me, and then I will... Oh, excellent. Thanks, Flower. Yes, I think that's where they kind of track all of these fan scenarios. Her reaction ability says, when you look at one or more cards from the encounter deck, as a reaction, so I can choose, to look at one additional card and choose one non-elite card among them, and then either discard it, put it on top of the encounter deck, or put it underneath Gloria Goldberg. You can tuck it underneath her so that it vanishes from the game, essentially. And then her elder sign is +1, look at the top card of the encounter deck. Ah, okay, that's the so it is the action-adventure one, then. Or action-adventure is probably the wrong word. The RPG kind of one. I would be interested to try it, personally. Okay. So her ability essentially is, when you look at the encounter deck, I can choose to look at one more card, and then choose one of the cards among those cards to either discard, put on top, or put beneath her. The Beard! Ooh, yeah! Theological Bear. That's the one I've heard of as well. It's pretty good. So I like that. Does that kind of make some sense, folks, for our good friend Gloria? That's what we're going to be doing. Basically, we're going to be looking at the encounter deck and deciding, having clairvoyant visions of what's to come and going, oh, I should not deal with that. Well! Hi, Aragwen. She has unique cards and... Oh, yeah. That... Yeah, that's a good point, Aragwen. Will you accept... Oh, I know that's your playstyle. I don't even think I have anything close to a baby goat. I have an ally, but it's a human. Maybe it's more the memory of a goat. We'll see, we'll see. Okay, cool. Thanks, Crosshair and Flower. I will be mentioning in the show notes for this that the Beard... You know what? I'm going to write that down. I'm old enough now, guys, to know if I don't write it down, I will forget. The Beard is the maker of the mod. Because I won't remember otherwise. Okay. I don't need to talk too much about the deck because you haven't seen it. And that's kind of the point. It's kind of a bit of a surprise. This is standalone, so I'm allowed to take XP in exchange for additional basic weaknesses. I took 9 experience, because I don't know if this is a hard scenario or not, and therefore I wanted to have as few basic weaknesses as possible, ironically. I didn't know if this was going to be hard or not, so I erred on the side of spending less experience. Oh, cool, Blanky Cat. There you go. I took 9 XP, which means I only need to take 1 basic weakness. The other interesting thing about Gloria, as mentioned on the back of her... Well, here. So she takes a secondary class choice, Guardian, Seeker, or Rogue. She can take some cards from that class, not all of them. Gloria is going to be our Seeker today, because she's seeking the truth. She's seeking to stop the end of the world. And then her deck building requirements include 3 copies of her unique card Psychic Sensitivity, which we'll see when we see it. 3 copies of Prophecy of the End shuffled into the encounter deck, and a random basic weakness. So that's fun. Her weaknesses... Yeah, I know, Crosshair. It's so funny. Like, they're trying to do a thing where it's like, there's a bunch of... Like, every class gets one character who has the, like, you can take one of these 3 off classes and then they'll mix and match or whatever. But I find it so funny that Gloria doesn't have Survivor. Like, Seeker, Guardian, Survivor. Guardian, sure, she can, like, protect people or whatever with her. It's very silly. Prophecy of the End. This is in the running for some of the most evocative, I'll say it again, Aragwen, dope-ass art in the game. I truly believe this is in the running. Okay, this is an End Times Omen. These are going to be shuffled into the encounter deck, remember? So we might see them over the course of the scenario. And there's 2 things on it. The first is that it says Surge. So if you draw it, it surges into another encounter card. So it's not just a dead draw. It then says, sorry, you're absolutely correct, Aragwen. I mean this art is dope as shell. The forced effect on the Prophecy of the End. Now, this is important for us to understand how this works, so bear with me. It says, if Gloria Goldberg uses her reaction ability, so if she chooses to peer into the beyond and see an additional encounter card, if this treachery is among the looked at cards, it must be chosen and placed underneath her. And then if you can't, because she's full up on cards beneath her, you have to discard another card beneath her. Then, if there are 3 copies of this treachery beneath her, she is defeated and suffers 1 mental trauma. Now, what this means is, theoretically, Gloria is at the mercy of fate, and the more she peers into the beyond, the more likely it is that she's going to see a copy of this and have to tuck it underneath her, and then if she sees all 3, the end times come to defeat her. Or whatever. Or I guess she's taken out by the visions or whatever. There are ways around this, which is good, because nobody likes a weakness that just absolutely messes you up forever. It's only very Lovecraft. I agree, Alice. And thankfully, Crosshair, it's only the forced effect says if you look at it with her reaction ability, it has to go underneath her and then it can defeat her. So if you draw it, it doesn't do anything. I mean, it does do anything. It surges. Weirdly enough, yeah, the forced effect doesn't say put it underneath her. It's like if you look at it. So it's like if she uses her power. This means if I naturally draw one. But yes, you totally could. And then there are ways to sort of cancel or get around it or whatever. They go in the encounter deck, though, right, Flower? So, what else do I want to say? I think that's about it. Does that make sense for our Gloria Goldberg here? Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it removes her ability to be looking at other treacheries. We'll see it in play, I think. Alice, as a note, just because it's typically out there I've been doing Doomed for a long time, but this is Arkham Horror, the card game. I'm not going to stop to discuss every single rule because this is not a learn to play situation. But if you have questions about, hey, Scott, what the hell is going on? Or oh, I noticed that you took an action and did this weird thing. What does that card do? Or what does this mean? Or whatever. Just let me know. Very happy to talk about it if you would like. Gloria has, when she came to Arkham, and of course I should have said. You're absolutely right, Crosshair. Chat also knows a few things if you want to ask chat. I am simply along for the ride. Well, we should get to the freaking narrative then, shouldn't we? Shrimply. So Gloria, the famed novelist who has somehow managed to, as Theo put it, turned her visions of doom and gloom into a successful career as a writer, came to Arkham, presumably on tour with her most recent book, Champion of Light, Herald of Darkness. Alan Wake crossover. Right, of course, Flower, thank you. I'm very glad to hear it again. Thank you, Flower. And while she was in Arkham, she was struck by the most powerful vision she's ever had. A vision of a creature from beyond the stars tearing through the fabric of reality. Trees being uprooted and pulled into the sky. Light and darkness and creatures, pain, color, spilling out into the void, or from the void, rather, onto Earth and consuming it. She doesn't know what this means, but she knows it is something that will happen unless she stops it. She also recently received a letter, presumably, from Roderick Usher, and maybe these two things are going to go together. You shrimply the best. Yeah, what the hell, Crosshair? So I must draw a basic weakness. Normally, for Doomed, we have a running list of all the ones that have been used in the campaigns so far, and then I just keep picking other ones. Very good. Yes, Flower, and I plan on abusing that narrative tactic a lot. Because this is standalone, I'm not going to be beholden to that. I'm going to draw 3 and pick one, unless I can't take it for some reason, or unless it doesn't, make sense for some reason. Here we go. Chronophobia, the fear of time. Through the gates. Holy shit, we're definitely taking that. And a cursed follower. All right. Doomed would actually, legit, Crosshair, be really appropriate here. The 13th vision as well, I was thinking. All right. Chronophobia is, of course, a fear of time passing. You take horror. Meh. Ooh. Oh, looking into the future changed the future? Okay, very good. Oh, Doomed it. It probably is, Flower, yeah. I have to assume so, because, in standalone, you could theoretically draw it multiple times. The accursed follower of something stands far away and feeds curses. However, let's be real. What's through the gates? What is through the gates? And why is it Gloria's vision of doom? This is a mystery pact weakness, and it says draw the top card of your deck. If it is not a weakness, remove that card from the game. Unless you're playing Depths of Yoth Infinite, Flower. And I only joke about that because I heard it happening. There was a board game convention where the folks from Drawn to the Flame organized a standalone version of Depths of Yoth called How Low Can You Go? And it was just get as low as possible in the depths. Very funny. Okay. Through the Gate says draw the top card of your deck. If it's not a weakness, remove it from the game. Then search your deck, discard pile, hand, and play areas for each other copy of that card that you own and remove them from the game as well. Yeah, Crosshair, I think it depends, right? If it hits, a card that you're like, eh. If it hits, say, Wendy's Amulet, you're going to go, oh, shit. If it hits your single weapon, your big gun or your whatever, right? If something is drawn through the gates that you need, it's going to feel pretty bad. Because you can't even be like, oh, I have another copy. You don't. This does feel the most appropriate to me, though, thematically. Or combo piece. Hey. I'm feeling like... Yeah, oh yes, correct, Crosshair, yes. Not from the whole... Yeah, it's not exiled permanently. It is just from that game. So you get them back at the end of the scenario. Which, thematically, I don't know how that works, but... Okay. Gloria Goldberg here, 9 XP. Her visions are going to maybe take her through the gate, but we'll have to see. Let us read the scenario intro before we look at the act and agenda. Fall of the House of Usher is a scenario based on the classic horror story by Edgar Allan Poe. Who cares? Whoa, that's nice. Standalone or side scenario. This doesn't matter right now. The ancient race of the Ushers. Dr. Armitage. Classic. Dr. Armitage breathes a sigh through his nose as he thumbs through an occult tome, shaking his head. I can't find a shred of evidence, but I know something is dreadfully wrong. For years I have been acquainted with the Usher family, one of the earliest families to have emigrated from England, perhaps. Roderick and his sister Madeline are the last descendants of the Ushers. I'll pause the scenario because, of course, much like Ron Burgundy, if it's on the teleprompter, I must read it, and it says, Army Taj. I haven't heard or talked to them in the better part of 2 decades, but now, out of the blue, Roderick sends me a letter pleading for my personal help. Their manor, the House of Usher, it is called, is a morose place, to be sure, but there has always been something unnatural about it, something that the Ushers have hidden for centuries. Nobody wanted to call somebody about that, or... I cannot find a single hint as to what that secret might be, but I'd stake my reputation on there being something evil in that house. Evil enough that after 10 generations, Roderick feels he must act, or ask others to act if he cannot. However, I am not fit as I once was, nor is this my area of expertise. Can I rely on you to expose this evil? 70-year-old horror novelist Gloria Goldberg's like, yeah, I guess. This is fine for me. I feel like she's very much of the opinion that nothing happens by chance or coincidence, that everything that's always happened to her has been revealed to her for a reason. And to then go to Dr. Armitage and be like, I had this vision of the future, or like tell me about like apocalypse lore, you know, what civilizations have what civilizations have like stories of the apocalypse, etc., etc. So yeah, and then hearing of this letter from Roderick Usher, she realizes that her vision was, of course, of the world. It was of a city, but first of all, she has an instinctual feeling that these two things are related, that this evil might be the thing that is coming out of the house or whatever, who knows. But also, what she saw was a crack a tear in the fabric of reality, almost like a crack in a foundation of a home. And she thinks to herself, maybe these are related. Oh, setup. Okay, well, we're there. Set the following cards aside out of play. Put each other location into play on the next. With its decadent side revealed, we begin play at Roderick's studio. We put Roderick Usher into play and shuffle the remainder of the cards. Okay, I think this is all done. There's Roderick. I'm going to put myself here, because that's... I'll just check. That is Roderick's studio. I don't want to read too much until we've read the agenda and the act here. Gloria... The Duchess! Hell yeah. Gloria, on nothing more than a hunch, an instinct that these two things might very well be related, goes along to Roderick Usher's home. And before she leaves, types out a series of pages of finding something deep within Roderick Usher's home, an evil that needs to be destroyed, and that if that evil were to leave this house, it would mean the end of the world. And now, through her fiction, she has tied her revelation of the ends to this house, and now they are once again knit together. Let's have a look at our agenda and our act here. Agenda 1A, Hall of Antiquity. The House of Usher lies deep in rural Massachusetts, at the edge of a great, dark lake. Alan Wake crossover confirmed! A sense of anxiety permeates you as you tread over the causeway to the manor and gaze up at the Gothic building. question, Flower. It's because she knows it's coming, so there's no way to write it out of existence. This is the other thing I want to point this out. This comes up in Alan Wake as well. If you can't write your way around the devastation that is to come, every time he tries, it fails. Something kind of brings it back. So she knows that this is coming, but by tying it to Roderick Usher's home, she hopes that it can be a singular thing that can be destroyed, defeated, cast out, whatever. A sense of anxiety permeates you as you tread over the causeway to the manor and gaze up at the Gothic building. The hall is ancient and imposing, but beginning to fall to ruin. A noticeable crack in the masonry runs the length of the building from its roof to its foundations, and further down into the murky water. The click of the door latch draws your attention back to your current mission, as a primly dressed servant emerges. He regards you coldly, but affirms that Roderick Usher is awaiting you. Right this way, madam. Act 1A, The Disturbed Proprietor. You find Roderick Usher in his studio sitting in near darkness. His skin is pale and clammy, and he stares glassy-eyed back at you. You explain that you are visiting at the behest of Dr. Armitage, but he is distant and unresponsive and refuses to acknowledge anything you say. There must be something you can do to focus his attention. Objective: if there are 3 clues on Roderick Usher, advance. Okay. I need clues, and then I need to put them on Roderick. Here you go. It's a good question, Flower. The meta plot of one of my favorite games of all time, Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. Oh man, spoilers for like a 20-year-old GameCube game coming in hot, but I think this is, like, it blew my mind as a teen or whenever I played it, I can't remember. When you start the game, the villain selects an artifact of one of the ancient ones, and then the chosen one, the protagonist of the game, across multiple heroes, across multiple times and places in the world, defeats that ancient evil. But then you can replay the game in the same save file, and when you go back as the villain at the beginning of the game, there's only 2 artifacts left, so you have to choose the other one, etc., etc. So you end up playing all 3 ancient evils as the villain. And there is a 4th ancient evil that is alluded to throughout the game, that at the end, once you have defeated all 3 ancient evils, it is revealed that it was simply trying to manipulate humanity and the other ancient evils to play them against each other, so that it alone survives across all timelines. And I was like, that is dope as hell, and also absolutely horrific. Also, I mean, talk about eldritch horror. Yeesh. Okay, we need 3 clues. We need to put them on Roderick. Put them on Roderick. Okay. Let's have a look here. So a note that all of the locations start revealed because they start on their decadent sides. Presumably there's other sides or story cards or whatever beneath them. I felt that I breathed an atmosphere of sorrow. An air of stern, deep, and irredeemable gloom hung over and pervaded all. Investigators at Roderick's studio cannot ready cards they control. Oh, no worries, Crosshair. I've just been talking about a video game for like 2 minutes, but yeah, we are looking. Sorry, yes, the objective is 3 clues on Roderick. So we haven't yet seen what that is, but we need to find 3 clues and put them on Roderick. The locations start revealed because I think, as you mentioned, there's probably something on the flip side of each. So I just need to go grab clues and then put them on Roderick. Let's have a look at Roderick Usher. Last of the line of Usher. I beheld him gazing upon vacancy for long hours in an attitude of the profoundest attention, as if listening to some imaginary sound. A cursed patron. Aren't all patrons cursed? Parley, test will or intellect. 2, Vincent Price. Oh, look who it is. It's Roderick Usher. For each point you succeed by, you may move a clue controlled by an investigator at your location to Roderick Usher. So I have to go get the clues and then come back. Shit. Damn it! Flower, no! I don't know if she did pack them. We'll have to see what she packed. I'm hoping she packed some sweet spells. So we need 3 clues from various locations in play, and then I have to bring them back to Roderick, and I have to throw them all on him. Where can I get 3 clues? There's 2 on this library. I'm not going to look at the locations too closely yet, but there's 2... Okay, there's a bunch of 1s here, 2 there. The studio is only connected to the library and the hall. So I could go move, sorry. Yeah, move, clues, back, or move, clues, back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it's the same. Okay. Have you tried wearing a tuxedo? All right, my friends. Gloria Goldberg has somehow written into existence a connection between her visions of the end times and the fall of the House of Usher and the evil that dwells within it, whatever that means. She's here in the old decrepit mansion. She is looking for some way to speak to Roderick Usher. And you're right, Crosshair. Yeah, God, I just hope I get a shortcut. Let's draw our opening hand, huh? Let's get doomed. Okay. What? What are you talking about, Flower? Come on, I don't know no meta material. I mean, I do. That's money. That's sword cane. Sword cane, a thing that you always bring to a house of an old man. Or perhaps find. So this is for fighting or evading. This is for fighting. This is investigation. It's money. I actually don't need a psychic sensitivity yet, although I will read. Well, let's read it, Crosshair, because I don't know. I'm honestly not sure. Gloria Goldberg deck only. Fast. Play when an investigator at any location draws an encounter card if there is a copy of that card beneath Gloria Goldberg, because she's had a vision of it, you see. Cancel all of that card's effects, discard both copies of it, then draw a card. Ooh. This is so sweet, dude. I love this. The thing is, she has no cards beneath her, and I don't have a reminder that her ability says when you look at 1 or more cards from the encounter deck, I can choose to look at 1 additional, choose a non-elite card among them, discard it, put it on top, or put it underneath Gloria. Then, Psychic Sensitivity would allow you to, if you drew another copy of that card, cancel it entirely, throw it away. Because you're psychically sensitive, you see. But I don't have a reason to do that yet. I also don't have any way of looking at the encounter deck yet, which is not ideal. So I think we throw this back. We think we throw this back. I need to keep some sort of enemy management solution, and I think I'm going to keep Sword Cane, because... But I'll keep Shriveling as well, because it's good. So I'll mulligan 2. Okay. Another Sword Cane. And read the signs. Right away, Theological Bear. Oh, that's good stuff. Okay. Man, the flavor text on Burning the Midnight Oil is just, you'll sleep when you're dead. Ay-yoy. Okay, well, the plan is clear. We go and get some frickin' clues, and we bring them back to, please, Crosshair. Very sad, Blanky Cat, but, yeah, especially because it's a combat icon. Blech. Oh, well. Well, Gloria can't do much with Roderick. Because he seems to not be, he seems to not be reacting at all. So she's going to move into the private library. Roderick's personal library is comprised mostly of poetry and prose from the old romantic authors, true to his temperament. 3 Shroud, 2 Clues, Victory 1. Free trigger, If there are no clues on private library, remember that you have unearthed an archaic book, something that Gloria would love, both because it's archaic and because it's a book. There's also a forced effect on it that says, if there is damage on private library equal to its shroud value, flip it. Damage. Well, the house is falling apart, right? There's a big crack in it or whatever. Okay, I would like these clues. The house will be on fire. Hooray! Whoa, Gloria. Okay, let us read the signs. What can we divine from this library? As Gloria steps through, she runs her hands, her old withered hands, her liver-spotted hands. Sorry, it's so rude that I'm not trying to be ageist. I'm just painting a picture. She runs her hands along the spines of the books that line this private library, which is covered in dust, debris as pages sort of spill out all over the place. The weak moonlight comes in from one of the windows, as it says here. Or as it shows in the art, I should say, as she looks for anything that might trigger a vision of the future or give her inspiration as to what she is looking for. Great question, Flower. It is +1, look at the top card of the encounter deck, which of course you may use your reaction ability on. Read the signs is a 2-cost event. A grisly future is laid before you. Do you turn away or embrace it? I am investigating, I'm adding my willpower to my intellect, and if I succeed, I discover an additional clue, which means I am rolling at 9 to 3. Okay, -4. That's still a success. It's a woof. But it's okay, that's fine. Whoa, Gloria, whoa. Hey, what the hell? How many clues are there in this joint? Sorry, there were too many clues. And now I need to check if there's too many clues everywhere. Just scream red at me, why don't you? Yeah, oh god. Oh yeah. Okay. Just the correct number of clues everywhere else, it looks like. And then last action, free trigger. There's no clues on the library. I will have unearthed an archaic book. Flashes of fire and the crack down the front of the facade of the house growing larger, splitting open, and flames and light pouring out from within strike Gloria as she reaches back behind a shelf of books and finds a long-forgotten tome fallen back there. An archaic book. Who knows what it will be? Last action, I'll move down to the Grand Hall, because I really want these clues ASAP so that I can get back and advance before the agenda does. That's the end of the investigation phase. It says you may ignore any effect or keyword on your location which would trigger during this investigation. Exactly. Yeah. So I mean that, like, I think that piece of text is like, well, yeah, it's yeah. So you could say like, oh, if there's a haunted effect that would cause you to take horror, or if there's like there's like, you can't discover more than one clue, I'd be like, I'm going to ignore that. So I've moved on. I've got 2 of the 3 clues that I need to awaken Roderick Usher or whatever. There's no enemies, so I'm just going to go ahead and upkeep. Inquiring Mind. The card I did not want before. We go to 1 out of 3 Doom. Unfortunately, Gloria's vision of fire, flames, light pouring from the void has not helped her figure out what is actually coming. And as she... Oh, sorry, I should have read. As she wanders into the Grand Hall, back into the Grand Hall, the dreary entrance to the manor reflects just how somber the rest of the house is further inside. I should have read this because I don't know what it does. Resign. You flee this terrible place before you succumb to its malice. You can. And forced, if there is damage on the Grand Hall equal to its shroud value, flip it. Okay, so the house is going to be falling apart for sure. Or exploding or burning or whatever. Let's go with fire. I like fire. Upkeep brought us an Inquiring Mind. We go to 1 out of 3 Doom. Yes, exact Crosshair, honestly. Like, it's weird to me because the text on and again, we'll see it when we see it, but the text on the card says, if you used her reaction ability, and this is among the looked at cards. So, like, if you chose to use her reaction, and it's among the looked at cards, then, yeah, it could kill you. But, like, you can always choose not to use her reaction. But then, that makes me go, well, what the fuck is the point of playing Gloria, then? Right? Like, what is the point? Alright. We draw an encounter card here in the Grand Hall. Ah! At the foot of the stairs, a figure by the door. Gloria assumes it's one of the servant, the ancient servant who let her in. And as she starts to take a step down the stairs, she sees that the creature, in fact, had its back turned. It is not human at all. It is transparent. It is essentially floating. Perhaps one of the ancient Ushers themselves. The Scion of Usher is a Geist monster. 3 fight, 3 health, 2 evade. Hunter. Alert. Forced. When Scion of Usher would take any amount of damage except from spell or relics, reduce that amount to 1. So if you try to shoot it with a gun, it's not as effective. That makes sense. There's a reaction on it that says, after you evade Scion of Usher by 3 or more, defeat it. Yeah, exactly, Crosshair. Yeah, you get away from it so hard that it's like, I don't even believe you exist, and then it just vanishes. Well, that's a little... It only does a horror, so I'm not too scared of it, but I think we want to try to get rid of it. Let us play a Sword Cane. Sword Cane is a 2-cost asset. It takes up a hand slot. As Gloria begins to descend the stairs, making sure to maintain eye contact with this human spirit that is floating just at the bottom of the stairs, seemingly watching her, but perhaps looking through her. She reaches the bottom, and just around the corner of the staircase, she pulls from its stand where she saw it when she came in, an old cane covered in strange markings, carvings, glyphs, jewels. She knows it for what it is. She could sense the malice and evil coming off of the blade. She draws the sword from within the cane and brandishes it at the Scion of Usher, this creature, this Geist. Playing Sword Cane does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Dope as hell. Reaction. After it enters play, I can immediately trigger its action ability without paying its cost, because you're drawing it from its sheath, right? And then it says action, exhaust Sword Cane. So I don't have to pay the action or the cost, so I don't have to exhaust it either. Fight or evade. You may use your willpower in place of your combat or agility for this attack or evasion attempt. I am going to evade the Scion of Usher, hoping to evade it by a lot. I have 5 willpower versus its 2. I do not have a clue on my location, so I can't play Inquiring Mind, which wouldn't make sense anyway. Man, I should get an achievement if I go through this whole scenario without ever looking at the encounter deck as Gloria. Basically, as she descends the stairs, she reaches down to the side of the stairwell where there's like an umbrella stand, pulls this bejeweled arcane, if you will, from the umbrella stand, unsheathes an old sword, dull in the moonlight, but still pulsing with arcane power, and brandishes it at the Scion of Usher. Let us evade this thing with my willpower. Hey, thanks, Theo. REA Arcane. yeah, exactly, Crosshair. You point it and it goes... I will evade at 5 to 2. -1. Okay, it's evaded, but not by 3 or more. Which is too bad. I would have loved that, but we will count it as evaded. I could try to defeat it, because I do have shriveling and stuff, but I'm wondering if I want to just keep moving, because I have clues to get and stuff. Our Cane. You're right, Blanky. Yeah, that's my cane. It does have Hunter, which is concerning, but I have to come back through the hall anyway. And, like, maybe I'll use Shriveling or whatever. I don't know. Thing is, I'm not too... Isn't that terrible? Like, I'm not too concerned. I'm like, oh, maybe, you know... Visit me in 40 minutes and tell me if I'm still concerned about the fucking Scion of Usher. The power emanating from this strange device, this relic, seems to cause the ghostly presence to warp and disfigure as it pulls back through the hallway and vanishes into the distance. I'm going to continue moving. Is that where I want to go? There is a... Let's look at... Gloria would have gotten the lay of the land, right? Let's have a look. There's a portrait gallery up here. 3 shroud, 2 clues. I'm probably going to need more clues, right? Well, I don't have any double clue things. Okay. Sorry, let's have a look. The portrait gallery. Choose and discard a card from your hand. Look at the top card of the encounter deck. I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Yeah, exactly. I like that a lot, too. The Manor Chapel allows you to remove Doom from an asset. The Banquet Hall says, take a damage in a horror. Remember that you have accepted the Usher's hospitality. I don't know if I don't. I don't know if I want to do that. The Wine Cellar says during a skill test, you get +2 skill value, and then after that test resolves, you get -1 to all skills until the end of the round. There's a crypt down here, but I can't get to it in one move. 6 Shroud. The Horrors offer dental insurance. When you reveal a skull, switch that token's minus to a plus. Okay. And then the Manor Chat. Okay, so there actually aren't that many locations. I feel like I'm going to need clues, extra clues. I'm going to go up to this portrait gallery, and my thought here is that Gloria's thinking, is it not possible that this creature, blue clues, this creature, this ghostly presence, could be one of the other Ushers, what could be Roderick's ancestor. Haunting this place, haunting her, trying to communicate something, who knows? Let's move up. I mean, yeah, it's one of. I think it's once per turn. Yeah, damn it. Choose and discard a card from your hand. Look at the top card of the encounter deck. You may discard that card. Let's do it, guys. I want to use her ability at least once in this scenario. Boom! I'm going to discard Sword Cane, the other Sword Cane. Look at the top card of the encounter deck. When you look at one or more, look at one additional card and choose one non-elite card among them. So, I'm allowed to discard the top card of the encounter deck, and I'm also allowed to look at the second one and either discard it, put it on top, or put it down beneath. Dual wielding magical sword canes. Ugh. All right, what do we got? Auditory hallucinations. Each investigator's maximum hand size is reduced by 2. I don't care. I don't think that bothers me, to be honest. Plus, she would be having auditory hallucinations, right? Her sanity's gone down. This fucking guy, on the other hand, this fucking filch motherfucker here, is a cultist. At the end of the mythos phase, place a doom on him. When he would be defeated, if there's any amount of doom on him, remove a doom and heal all damage from him. Okay, well, I'm going to use her ability to discard the Servant of Two Masters, because I don't want to deal with that. And I'm going to put the hallucinations back on top, because I know what I'm now drawing. This is, as Gloria ventures into the portrait gallery, she kind of she's obviously trying to avoid the prickling sensation on the back of her neck as she feels spirits inhabiting this place. I could flower, yeah. Because then if I get a copy of psychic sensitivity, and yeah, it's true, then I could discard the other one. Fuck it, let's do it. Whoop. It's not like I'm currently. Yeah. So this is a lot of ifs. It's a lot of ifs. Oh, but that's true actually. It probably will shuffle. That's a good point too. Okay. As Gloria gazes into each individual portrait, which are somehow arranged in reverse chronological order, she sees them. The paintings get older and older. And while there is a certain worry creased at the edges of all of the Ushers' eyes over time that have never changed, and wrinkles in their foreheads and downturned expressions of despair, she can see in their faces a history of this place, and feels that those who work for the Ushers know of something, some power hidden in this place. You betcha, Crosshair. What time is it? Noon? No, we're good. I'm going to keep playing, but there you go. Okay. Enemy phase. There are no ready enemies. The Scion of Usher readies in upkeep along with me. I draw a true understanding. Commit only to a skill test from an ability on a scenario card. Balls. Well, I'm not drawing a test from the encounter deck this turn, but that's okay. I'll keep it for later. We go to 2 Doom, and my encounter card is, holy crap, it's Auditory Hallucinations. Oh, I put it in play next to the agenda deck. Boop. My maximum hand size is reduced by 2. As she reaches out to touch the oldest portrait, the 10th portrait, the first Usher that landed here in America and built this house in this strange place near a massive, dark, cold lake. She can hear whispering. She looks around for the source of it, and yet it doesn't seem to be coming from any specific direction, just somewhere. Now, unfortunately, I can't get the clues I need, get back, and deal with Roderick. It is what it is. I'm going to have to wait until the agenda advances. However, I would like to try to get these clues. I'm going to have to take horror from the thing. I don't have a shortcut or anything. That's too bad. Let's burn some midnight oil here. Gain 2 resources when this begins. I'm investigating at 4 to 3. I don't love that. I guess I'll commit Inquiring Mind to go up to 8. -1. I get a clue. I do think I need more clues, but I could also move back and try to evade the guy again. I could also play Shriveling, which maybe is a good thing to have down on the table. Yeah. Another great piece of art, honestly. This game is dope as hell. All right. Let us investigate 1 up. Woof. Let's... hang on. What are the negative effects here? Skulls are -X. X is 1 plus the number of Geists in play. Lol. Cultists reveal another token if you fail. Put a doom on an asset you control. Gross. Tablets. -3. -5 if there's 2 or more damage on your location. Elder Things are -3 if you fail. Take a horror. Okay. I think we play Shriveling just to have it down on the board, because I might need to destroy something. Gloria continues to look as she takes a step back, and the whispers continue even as she steps away from the portrait of the first Usher that landed here in America, and she tries to take in the portraits all together, tries to understand what they are telling her, what it is that this home is hiding, why it is falling apart now. And then, I'm not happy about it, but I'll do it. I'm going to investigate at 4 to 2. 4 to 3, sorry. Balls. Skulls are -X. X is 1 plus this Geist that's in play. So I do not succeed. In the enemy phase, the Scion of Usher hunts in and deals me a horror. This is a classic jump scare situation, right? As she turns to go back to the hall, to go back to try to awaken something in Roderick by maybe speaking the name of his ancestor, the ghost of one of the ancient Ushers, the one she saw in the portrait, is like right here as she turns around. And she takes a step back, her heart almost stopping from fear. Upkeep brings us Dreams of the Clay. Interesting. Man, I hope I get a willpower test. Oh, I really hope I get a willpower test. That would be great here. We go to 3 out of 3 Doom. Which means it is time to advance. I do not have the clues yet on Roderick, which is too bad, but let us advance the agenda. The fissure widens. You freeze instinctively as you feel the house shift slightly, but noticeably, beneath your feet. The scraping of bricks, creaking of wood, and scattering of light debris echo around you. At the corner of each room, the crack in the house you observed from the outside begins to rip inward. The house of Usher is beginning to fall. Place 4 damage on Roderick's studio. And if I recall correctly, there's a forced effect on Roderick's studio. If there is damage on it equal to its shroud value, flip it. Roderick's studio is now ruined. It has the same effect. Investigators here cannot ready cards they control. There's a free trigger, which I think is actually pretty cute. Free trigger, place a clue on Roderick's studio. It gains victory 1 for the rest of the game. So, I like that. Yeah! Yeah! I can't do the Usher, yeah. But, hi, Toast. Welcome to Doomed. Wonderful to have you with us. We are indeed witnessing the fall of the House of Usher, the R&B legend. We are Gloria Goldberg, the novelist, the writer, has had a vision of the end of times and has used her writing to link that end of times to the House of Usher and has made her way there. Okay. Well, I don't love that. Let's have a look at our new agenda. I see a null value for Doom and I get worried. Agenda 2A, Rushing Asunder. The dark forces contained within the Usher Manor are tearing it apart, Lisa. You must end this evil before the house utterly collapses. Forced. After any amount of Doom is placed on this agenda, remove that Doom from play, okay, and place 2 damage among decadent locations in play up to their shroud values. Okay, I see. So, every time Doom goes on the agenda, instead of Doom, we put 2 damage on some of the non-ruined locations, and then once they hit their shroud values, they flip. Oh, Crosshair, welcome back. We're just advancing our agenda. Roderick's studio has been ruined by the flip of the agenda. The fall of the House of Usher has begun. The crack has begun to widen as things begin to shift and, you know, exactly. Me too, Toast. I love a decadent lunch. I love a decadent location. So now, instead of placing Doom on the agenda, after any amount of Doom is placed on the agenda, remove that Doom. Place 2 damage among decadent locations in play, up to their shroud values, because that's when they flip and get ruined. Forced. At the start of the mythos phase, move each Doom on a treachery or enemy to this agenda. So enemies and treacheries that accumulate Doom advance the fall of the House of Usher. For each Doom on a player card or in a player's threat area, the controlling player must move that Doom to this agenda or take a damage or a horror. Yeah, they better... Well, that's it, Crosshair. They better freaking hope that those investigators have some way of, like, avoiding... Sorry, there was a bug outside. I was just worried it was inside. They better hope they have a way of avoiding all the damage and horror coming their way, right? Forced. If there are no decadent locations in play, advance. Okay. So I placed a doom and I flipped, so we're now on agenda 2A. I don't have to do this yet. Roderick Studio has flipped. I can do this math really quickly. 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 16, 22, which is 11 rounds, as long as no additional doom gets placed. The flip side is it has the same effect. Investigators at Roderick Studio cannot ready cards they control. And I like this crosshair, although for standalone, I don't, it's fine. But like, it says free trigger, place clues as a group on Roderick Studio, and it gains victory 1. So if you want the victory, you have to get the clues off of it again. Interesting stuff. Very cool. Again, not particularly useful. Roderick sits in a chair as his house begins to shudder and collapse around him, like pieces of plaster falling onto the floor and exploding, a grand piano getting crushed by a beam and shit, you know. Okay, I need to draw an encounter card. Let us hope it is a willpower test. Decayed Legacy. Ugh, this is the portraits melting off the wall, yeah. Put Decayed Legacy into play in your threat area. You get -2 to each of your skills. That's bad. That's a wild effect, actually. Free trigger. Place a doom on it. Ignore all reductions to your skills from this copy of Decayed Legacy until the end of the round. Double action, discard it. Okay. So a doom a day keeps the decaying legacy away. I could place a doom, kill this frickin' thing, and then double action discard the decayed legacy. Yeah, but I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Yeah, Rushing Asunder says, for each doom on a player card, or in a player's threat area, this would be that, they must either move that doom to this agenda, or take a damage or a horror. Ugh. Ugh. Okay, so I can probably soak a bit. Oh god, the legacy, it's decaying! The scion of Usher, the strange ghost-like figure, sort of reaches out a clawed hand and starts to advance on Gloria as the faces on the wall begin to melt. -2 to each of your skills, I gotta deal with that. So I could double action discard it, but then I would take an attack of opportunity, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna do Doom. I'm ignoring it for now, because I'm hoping I will have 2 actions at some point. Do I still have music? Hang on. Yes, I do. It's just very quiet. There we go. I think it's just 1 damage or horror, not per doom, I think. It says, yeah. Oh, no, you're absolutely right, Crosshair, sorry. For each doom, they must move it to the agenda or take a damage or a horror. Fucking hell. Okay. We kill the thing. We kill the scion to get it away from me. Or we just evade it, run, and then next turn we double action discard Decayed Legacy. I don't need more clues. I probably need more clues later. We gotta get the hell, yeah, exactly, exactly, which, I don't have that much time, so I think I need to not do that. I need to not do that. I need to destroy the Scion of Usher. As a note, my hand is a copy of True Understanding, which can only be committed to skill tests on abilities printed on scenario cards. So the agenda, the act, the locations, the treacheries, whatever. So I can't use it to like fight things. And Dreams of the Clay, which can only be committed to skill cards on treacheries. So these are actually useless for me right now, but that's okay. We are going to shrivel. If I Sword Cane and it succeeds by 3 or more, then I will defeat it. But I can't assume that's going to happen. So I'm going to shrivel. Shriveling. Spend a charge. Fight. It uses willpower. You get +2 willpower and deal +1 damage. If a symbol token is revealed, you take a horror. Well, Gloria steps back further and further until she's basically up against the wall as the thing that was once one of the ancestral ushers continues to advance towards her, its face, much like the faces of the portraits around her, melting. So you can succeed, deal 2 damage, and take a horror, all for your trouble. Let's fight. I'm at 7-3. She's going to point the sword cane towards it and say, you know, like, she's not going to say, she's going to essentially think to herself in her own... She's not physically writing, because I think it's a bit silly to be like, oh, hang on, I'm going to just blah, blah, blah. But, like, she is thinking of the next line of text, you know, as the creature advanced towards her. Its face began to melt, and Gloria willed for the rest of its corporeal form to shrivel away. I'm fighting at 7-3. It is a tablet, so I do take a horror. -3, -5 if there's 2 or more damage on your location, which there isn't. So I'll deal 2 damage, I'll take a horror, and then second action, I will fight with the sword cane. Am I gonna fight with the sword cane? 5-3? What's the bad? I think we're gonna evade. Manifest destiny. Yeah, as its body begins to sort of shrivel away. I think it'd be really cool if I could use the sword cane to just, like, stab it, basically. But... 2 up is not enough, and I can't commit anything to this test. So I have to try the evasion. And then even... Fuck, it's so annoying. No. We're gonna fight 5-3. We gotta take some risks here, okay? Great. 1 more damage. As the cane pierces the creature's sort of corporeal form, it disintegrates around it, and the whispers build in intensity and volume until they are a scream. And just... the creature vanishes. I'm concerned, Blanky Cat, because of the -3s in the bag. There's a lot of -3s. But it's not... It's still over half, so that's pretty good. Skulls are now -1 again. Flower, if it works, it works. And then I would love to get a clue, but I don't have time anymore. I'm going to move back towards the Grand Hall. And there are no enemies, so I will upkeep. I will ready my sword cane and draw a Parallel Fates. If I said that I could tell you when you were going to die, would you want to know? Who's this lady? Yeesh. Parallel Fates is an augury. Look at the top 4 cards of the encounter deck. Gloria would allow you to look at 5 and do something with one of those 5 cards. Reveal a random token from the Chaos bag. If it is a symbol, shuffle them into the encounter deck. Otherwise, return them to the top in any order. So I will say Parallel Fates has a 2 XP version, which is strictly better because it doesn't force you to shuffle things back in. What's annoying here is that, yeah, you could look at the top 4 cards of the encounter deck, and then Fate could be like, nah, fuck it, and then just shuffle it away. Gloria's my Bethany. She's my Bethany, too, Blanky Cat. I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean. Yes, Crosshair, yes. An augury being a sign of things to come. Performing a test to sort of see the things to come. You're not wrong, Flower. It would let me, like, pull out the most dangerous card unless I hit one of the 3 whatevers of the end. Sign of the end, or whatever it's called. So maybe I want to wait a little longer. Okay. That was upkeep. Mythos phase. At the start of the Mythos phase, for each doom on a card in a player's threat area. Oh, she's... Gloria's mother, Bethany. Oh, I understand. Sorry, Blanky Cat. I see Ma, and I think, like, part of me is always thinking in French. Ma is the possessive In French, ma mère would be my mother. Like, it's the my, essentially. But yes, this... Okay, that makes more sense here. Aha, yes, Crosshair, you're correct. If I don't use Gloria's ability, then nothing happens. Then I can't hit it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. True, it won. It won. Won't. Okay. For each doom on a card in a player's threat area, I must either move it to this agenda or take a damage or a horror. I will take a damage, and I'm gonna regret that. I need to double action discard Decayed Legacy this turn, probably. Probably? Yeah. Blah. Then... Yeah, perfect. NBD. Yeah, NBD, Crosshair, right? Easy peas. After any amount of doom is placed on this agenda, remove it. Remove that doom from play, not all doom. Place 2 damage among decadent locations up to their shroud values. Well, I'm going to place 1 on the portrait gallery and 1 on the Grand Hall, because that's where Gloria is. I'm going to try not to ruin any locations, because I don't know what they do. Oh, Stargaze. I love stargazing. What a card. Isn't that good? I don't know. I don't think so. But dope as hell. All right. Then we draw an encounter card. This Decayed Legacy needs to go. Morbid Acuteness. If there is a copy of Morbid Acuteness in your threat area, it gains Surge. Otherwise... Son of a bitch. Damn, it's a test! It's a test! Otherwise, test Willpower 3. If you fail, put it into play in your threat area. You cannot draw cards during the upkeep phase. If you have 6 or more cards in hand, or if you have no cards in hand, I can spend an action to discard it. Okay, well, it's a willpower test is the key here. Decayed Legacy. I need to put another Doom on it because currently my willpower is 3. Oh, no, I am. Yeah, we're back at the top of the round. Ignore all reductions to your skills from this copy of Decayed Legacy until the end of the round. So that... Yeah, I need to double action discard this round. For sure. So, let us test willpower 3. I'm at 5. And I'm going to commit Dreams of the Clay. What is Dreams of the Clay, you may be asking? Well, it's a skill. Artists, clairvoyants, dreamers, and performers only. But it's also a reference to H.P. Lovecraft's... whatever the Cthulhu one is called. Call of Cthulhu. There's a... people who are psychically sensitive, artists and dreamers, got visions of Relia and of Cthulhu, and one of them was a sculptor who made these horrible things from his dreams, which happened to match exactly the Cthulhu statues that have been seen around, etc. Okay. Commit only to a skill test on a treachery. If this skill test is successful, put Dreams of the Clay into your play area instead of discarding it. Reaction. When you draw a non-peril treachery from the encounter deck, remove Dreams of the Clay from the game, cancel its revelation effect, and discard it. So, I am testing it 6-3. Morbid Acuteness, I think, this is probably Edgar Allan Poe in the art, right? Perhaps this is Roderick Usher's Sickness, which is starting to threaten to destroy the house around them unless Gloria can contain the collapsing house. Perhaps her ability to... we can do something there. When you draw it. Cancels revelation effect, though. I don't know if it has a revelation. Well, I'll figure it out. This still seems good, though. Let's try to hit this, right? 6-3? I would like to push the sickness away. I was just thinking I should try to commit something so that I'm not at... so that I'm 4 up. That's hard, dude. Oh, that's so bad. My dreams! Okay. So, Morbid Acuteness says, you cannot draw cards during the upkeep phase. If you have 6 or more cards in your hand, or if you have no cards in hand, I can discard Morbid Acuteness. Well, we're here in the entrance hall. It would appear, Flower, yeah. Double action, discard Decayed Legacy immediately. And then I think I'm going to move up to Roderick's studio. So annoying, dude. So annoying. Although I think getting to 0 cards in hand probably won't be too crazy. But I need to, like, advance the act to figure out what I have to do next, right? The house is collapsing around us. Oh, God, so annoying. Okay, there are no enemies. For some reason, Gloria, as she advances back up the stairs, she knows that specter of the Roderick Usher's ancestor. No, that would be pretty sweet, Flower, but... Oh, that's true, Crosshair. Yeah, it's a good point, actually. Yeah. Okay. Presumably, yeah, as Gloria sort of advances back up the stairs after having dispelled one of Roderick Usher's ancestors, she is aware of the sense of illness and decay that is coming off of Roderick from his studio, as the house is physically collapsing around her. She doesn't know how she can yet end this curse, or indeed what it is. Maybe she'll need to, I don't know, talk to one of the servants or get something out of Roderick. But for now, she feels very ill at ease. There are no enemies, so I will refresh my actions. I'll take a resource. I can't ready cards, but there's nothing unready. And I can't draw cards. I go to place a doom. I don't place a doom. I place 2 damage on locations. 1 goes on the library. 1 goes on the chapel? Nah, fuck it. I'm going to put 1 on the portrait gallery. Because that's where I was, right? I feel like this top floor of the house is going to collapse first. Into the ground, right? It's not... I know that's not how collapses work, but, you know, bear with me. Then we draw an encounter card, which, again, Gloria Goldberg has not seen what is... Fuck off. If there is a copy of Morbid Acuteness in your threat area, it gains Surge. Okay, great. Well, shit. Yes, but hopefully I don't have to go back there, Flower. Tee-hee. You are correct. It's -5 if there's 2 or more damage on your location. Surge! As she steps in towards, gripping the cane tightly, leaning on it as if it's just a regular cane, she steps back into Roderick's studio. Ugh. There's the steward that let her in earlier is standing at the window, watching her with an icy gaze. Secretive Steward is a 4/2/2 servitor. Hunter, aloof. Preys on the most clues. Hunter and aloof. So he just follows you around. Forced. At the start of the enemy phase, if Secretive Steward is ready, move a clue from each investigator at its location to that location. Okay, so as you pick up books and shit, he's like, put that back, put that back, put that back. Hey, put that back. Aloof. Now, what's annoying here is if I do not successfully shove all of my clues onto Roderick, he's going to make me drop one. But I think that's okay. I think that's okay. Okay. We're back. First action. I could destroy this servant, but I don't think Gloria is bloodthirsty enough to just be like, get out! And just like, you know, shoot lightning at him out the window or whatever. I want to put the clues on Roderick Usher, but I would also like to play this Parallel Fates. I want to use her ability. Right? I know this is dangerous, but I'm going to take Crosshair's advice and just draw 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we draw 5? I don't have to. So her ability is reaction when you can look at additional card and then choose a card among them. I'm feeling lucky. There's 1. There's 2. Let's read Prophecy of the End. If Gloria Goldberg uses her reaction and this treachery is among the looked at cards, it must be chosen and placed face down beneath her. Well, there you go. Okay, so that's 2 of them. So there is a third. In the encounter deck, there's a Decayed Legacy, which I hate, an Auditory Hallucinations, which I don't hate, and a Luminous Phantasm. Well, so good question, Flower. I don't know, because let's read it again, right? It says, it must be chosen. But, like, so, okay, her ability is choose one non-elite card among them. And then this says, it must be chosen and placed face down beneath her. So then my question becomes... I'll look it up. And if someone can get to it first, that's I would appreciate that. But I'm going to look it up because my question is, what happens if you look at both? I would assume that both go beneath her. Yeah. If Gloria looks at multiple copies, each forced ability resolves, and each are placed face down beneath Gloria. I'm just reading the FAQs on the old Arkham DB, yeah? Okay. However, then Parallel Fate says, reveal a random token from the Chaos Bag. If it has a symbol, shuffle these in, otherwise return them to the top in any order, which might help us here. It has a symbol, so it doesn't matter. We're shuffling these back in anyway. All right, I cannot use my reaction anymore, because if I do, and I see another Prophecy of the End, I will be dead, and this will be a very short stream. It's a relatively short stream as it is. So Gloria, stepping back into the room, sees the servant standing by the window, icily staring back at her. Roderick in his invalid's chair, gazing off into space. Alert, and yet somehow not present at the same time. As the studio, as plaster continues to fall from the ceiling, and brick and masonry crumbles from the outside wall, suddenly a burst of light. The moon comes out from behind the cloud cover, and all of a sudden, Gloria sees that crack in the fabric of reality again, with that moonlight and that fire spilling out, covering, bathing Roderick's studio in fire. Oh, well. Oh, that's too bad. Let's go. I need to attempt this parlay test. Test willpower 2, or intellect. For each point you succeed by, you may move a clue to Roderick Usher. Well, I'm 3 up, so let's do it real quick. Let's get these clues on Roderick. 5 to 2. That is -1. 1 plus the number of Geists in play. There are no Geists, so I will put 2 clues on him. So, despite the fact that the vision was essentially blinding, she sort of steps back and shields her eyes as I go back to music. She crouches as much as she can, like hunches forward in front of Roderick, and starts to quote the names of his ancestors back at him. They were hiding something, Roderick. So are you. The line of Usher ends with you today. Roderick, what is it that this house hides? What is it that you are not telling me? We can defeat this evil. We can, or at least prevent it from destroying the world. I have seen the end. And she's hoping that the light in her eyes kind of reflects that she has seen whatever he's seen as well. And last action, I'm going to, again, parlay, test willpower 2 to try to move a clue to him. So annoying. Man. Okay. All right. So that's a -3. Sorry, it's a -5, actually. I'm sorry. So, so I do not move the last clue. This sucks, because now the clue is going to go on my location. Frackin' heck, man. Ugh. His eyes glaze over as she shakes his head, and she can hear him muttering from somewhere far away at the bottom of a well. There is nothing you can do to stop what is coming. End of the investigation phase. Yeah, can I, Flower? I think so, right? This Roderick Usher is a scenario card, right? He's an asset, but he's a scenario card. He's not a player card. Yeah. I mean, that's the hope. At the start of the enemy phase, I have to move a clue to Roderick's studio as the secretive steward attempts to bodily force Gloria out. I think you've had enough time with Lord Usher. And then upkeep, I will upkeep manually again. I go to 6 resources. Morbid acuteness prevents me from drawing cards. Unbelievable. This is going really horribly. I place a doom on the agenda, which means I will place a damage on the banquet hall and the manor chapel. And then I will draw a card from my recently shuffled encounter deck. Nervous Affliction. If you do not control any clues, Nervous Affliction gains Surge. Aw, man, it would have been a low intellect test. It's okay. It's fine. It gains Surge. Pestilent Vapor. You must choose. Each investigator at your location discards a card from their hand at random. Each investigator at your location chooses and discards 2 cards from their hand, or each investigator discards the top 3 cards of their deck. Well, I would like to use True Understanding to get the clue. No, wait. Question, Flower. Timing question. True Understanding says, if this skill test is successful, discover a clue. Roderick Usher says, for each point you succeed by. Are those the same timing point? Can I choose to discover the clue? So as you were suggesting, I thought it was going to be 2 separate actions. That would be pretty good. That would be pretty good to have a True Understanding, which means I can't believe it, but I am going to discard the top 3 cards of my deck. Let's hope there's a weakness in here. Dreams of the Clay, Inquiring Mind, Deny Existence. As masonry and brickwork continue to sort of fall off the walls, toxic fumes begin to enter Roderick's studio. Toxic fumes. A vapor leaks in from the outside. Gloria breaks away from the steward and steps back towards Roderick. I will only try this one more time, Roderick. I'm gonna test willpower again, and I'm gonna commit True Understanding to this willpower test. I understand what it is that you know. I understand what it is that you are hiding. I need only for you to tell me, why do you not think you can stop it? 6-2, please. I'm going to choose to believe this works this way. We need more tentacles in this stream. Hey, give me another tentacle in this stream. Discover a clue. I succeeded by 2, so I will place it on Roderick. I now have 0 cards in hand. However, the act advances. There are 3 clues on him. Roderick Usher blinks, and then... Wait. Yeah, exactly, Flower, yeah. I'll blame you publicly, and yeah, I'll drag you through the mud publicly. Final Death Agonies. You scour the nearby rooms of the manor to get a glimpse of what could possibly trouble Roderick. The ghosts? The melting portraits? Ask him leading questions until he relents. You know of the dark presence that haunts the house, then. He shivers and clenches his hands. My ancestors worshipped it, but it drained our vitality and our sanity, laid claim to our very souls. I had to save my sister from this dark fate. A great clamor sounds from the rooms below as Roderick continues, ashen-faced. When she suffered her most recent cataleptic attack, I knew she yet lived, but to save her, I sealed her within the tomb alive. What the fuck, dude? Are you casked of Amontillado, your sister? Great clamor. A great clamor arose. The sounds grow louder and closer while Roderick continues frantically. Was I right in doing so? Did I even succeed? You can hear her now clawing her way back up from the tomb. Even now she stands before the door. At this declaration, the servant leaps back from the door. The door to Roderick's studies flies open. The bloody and emaciated form of a woman, his sister Madeline, lurches forward with a ragged groan and falls upon her brother. What the fuck? Both of the ushers are corpses before their bodies land upon the floor of the study, though a single shade with Madeline's appearance rises from the bodies. Okay, so he buried his sister alive to save her from the curse. Whatever, man. Sounds like a fate worse than death to me. And then she reappeared from the tomb and killed him. Remove Roderick Usher from the game. Shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. Okay, so we've still got one copy of whatever the thing at the end. Roderick, you dead. Take the set aside Madeline Usher and cards from the top of the encounter deck until you have 2 cards. Okay. Shuffle them together and randomly deal 1 face down underneath locations in the following order until each card is underneath the location. Okay, cool. Usher Family Crypt, Banquet Hall. So those are the 2. Because then if you had 4 players in the game, it would go up. I bet she is hungry as well. Madeline, I'm not gonna look at you. I saw that her name was Madeline. So it was the Usher Family Crypt and the Banquet Hall. I also bet she's a little hungry. She just, killed her brother. She must be a little hungry. I'm going to get down to the Banquet Hall and hope that that's okay. The Forlorn... Act 2A, Fleeting Glimpses. The forlorn form of Madeline Usher glances at you only briefly before passing through one of the walls of Roderick's studio. What the fuck? Why does her spirit still linger here? Does the evil haunting the House of Usher hold power over her, even in death? In any case, Madeline's ghost may be the only one who can tell you about this evil and how to banish it. But where has she gone? Double action. If there is an encounter card under your location, draw that card. If you are at a ruined location, reduce this ability's cost by 1 action. Okay, so if the locations are ruined, it only costs 1 action to draw the encounter card. Where in the world is Roderick's sister Madeline? Action. If there's an encounter card under your location, spend a clue, look at that card. And then I wouldn't be using... My reaction is only when I look at cards from the encounter deck, so it wouldn't trigger if it was the single copy of Vision of the End or whatever it's called. Objective. If Madeline Usher enters the encounter discard pile, advance. Well, he said she was coming up from the crypt, right? But maybe she went back there. We're back around. Second action, I am going to discard Morbid Acuteness because I have nothing in hand. Good shit. Good riddance. And then, rather than drawing cards, I am going to... Actually, I'm not going to move yet, because I want to keep the Secretive Steward here, even though he's aloof. So I am going to draw a single card. Aragwen, they love taking turns about the garden, and when there's no garden, they love the crypt. A shortcut! Perhaps Gloria had a vision of the shortcut. All right. Enemy phase. I have no clues. The Secretive Steward can do nothing but stare at the corpse of his former employer, Roderick Usher. Not even noting that perhaps another ghost killed him. Yeah, exactly. She's getting a snack. Upkeep draws me Alyssa Graham, Speaker to the Dead. Lovely card with some lovely art on it. This is a sorcerer ally. This is a very particular card, and I think it's very cool for a lot of decks, particularly in solo, but I definitely think it is made for Gloria. It's true, Flower. So, Alyssa Graham, the Speaker to the Dead. This, I'm saying this right now, this is not a woman who just appears randomly in the House of Usher. This is Gloria writing a conversation she had with Alyssa Graham, the Speaker to the Dead, into her novelization of the of Fall of the House of Usher. So she's going to write a flashback, basically, with her. It gives you +1 intellect, which we love. Free trigger, exhaust Alyssagram, look at the top card of either... Actually, you're not wrong, Crosshair. Huh. Look at the top card of either the encounter deck or any player deck. You may add a Doom to Alyssagram to place the looked at card on the bottom of its deck. So you can choose to look at the top card of your own deck, and if it's a weakness or something, you can Doom it onto the bottom. You can look at the encounter deck and do the same thing. This is obviously great in solo because you're only drawing one encounter card around, so you know what it is that's coming, blah, blah, blah. If I use Gloria's reaction ability, I could draw a Prophecy of the End and die. So I'm not going to do that. We go to another Doom, which puts a damage on the Wine Cellar and the Crypt. I'm hoping to... Actually, hang on. Do I want to destroy the... If I damage the Banquet Hall, then drawing this card would only be a single action. But... Yes, true, Crosshair. And then once she's dead, she ain't got no more horror. So, yeah, no. Or, sorry, Doom. She ain't got no more Doom. Yeah, I think I'm gonna... I might want to see what accepting the Usher's Hospitality does. Okay. Encounter card time. Let us hope it is something not too bad for old Gloria, as she sees the servant standing over the corpse of Roderick Usher, not moving, just staring at him. She prepares to run down to the Grand Hall and write a flashback where she had a conversation with a speaker to the dead. But first, I must draw an encounter card. Desolate Heritage. The stem of the Usher race, all time honored as it was, had put forth, at no period, any enduring branch. Oh, ew. Revelation test agility 3. Ugh. If you fail, shuffle the encounter discard pile, including this card, back into the encounter deck. If you fail by 2 or more, discard a non-story asset you control. Uh-oh. Sword Cane, bye-bye. Well, I can't do anything about this. I have 1 agility, so... Elder Sign? There's nothing to shuffle... There's a morbid acuteness to shuffle back in. Alright, I'm just going to test this. The Desolate Heritage is presumably the collapse of Roderick Usher's studio as Gloria throws herself out. Denticle! Alright, I failed. This shuffles back into the encounter deck, and I have to discard a non-story asset I control. It will be the Sword Cane. Just because the shriveling does more damage. It's less flexible, but it does more damage. Gloria starts to step backwards towards the door, and then with nothing but a small crack, she looks up at the ceiling and watches the crack in the foundation just go along the ceiling, and then suddenly the roof caves in on Roderick Usher's studio. She leaps backwards with a nimbleness that she did not know even she had. And as the room collapses in front of her, she watches until the very end as the steward's eyes never leave the corpse of his master, Roderick. And she loses the Sword Cane in the shuffle. Okay. Horrific. Great. Love that. Alyssa Graham goes on the table. We get +1 intellect. I'm going to use Alyssa to look at the top card of the encounter deck, but not 2. Enervating Touch. It's a combat test. Treats your investigator's printed text box as if it were blank. Well, that's fine. I'm not doing a heck of a lot with her ability right now. So I'm going to put this back on top, dude. Gloria's hastily written flashback scene is of a conversation she had with a woman by the name of Alyssa Graham, a psychic from Boston. This psychic specialized in speaking to those who are no longer here and reaching out beyond the pale. Normally she is probably a fraud, but as Gloria sat down to interview her for a book, Alyssa Graham's eyes went a pale milky white, reached out and grabbed her arm and started to talk very quickly about the spirit of a woman who haunted a house, betrayed by her own brother, and wanting nothing more than to sever its ties with the great beyond. Yeah, exactly, Crosshair. And then it does nothing. All right, enervating touch goes back on top. Let's go ahead and shortcut, because I need to save myself some time. Shortcut is fast move. And then I will spend an action to move into the banquet hall. Then I will investigate the banquet... sorry. Do I care? I would like to take a damage in a horror to remember that I have accepted the Usher's hospitality. I don't know what this does. The table is laden with food and drink, but it somehow doesn't look natural. I like to think that as Gloria enters the banquet hall, she sees that it's like the spread is prepared as if for dinner for many guests, but there's no one here. And in fact, the house is collapsing underneath them. But she says that she decides to play along, sits down at the table, and reaches out for the wine. And then I'm going to investigate this location. It has 2 shroud. I have 5 intellect. Let's just investigate. 5 to 2. 2 tentacles. Green. Good. I don't know what this is, but it could be Madeline. I was hoping to get the clue so I could peek and then not have to waste my time. No enemies. Sorry, there is an enemy. The secretive steward hunts down the stairs. How is he still alive? We don't know because we haven't yet seen him. Gloria can sense the presence of things lurking about the house. I will upkeep and draw a Eureka. That'll be nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and wrap back around to Mythos. I'll probably take a very short break after this Mythos phase. I must place damage on locations. I will damage the library, and I will destroy the banquet hall. Just because I want to know what the ruined side does of these things, and it reduces the number of actions to draw cards. Rubble rains down from the ceiling, ruining the meal on the table, if it wasn't already ruined. Spirits begin to appear around it with increasing number. Action: if you have accepted the Usher's hospitality, automatically evade a Geist enemy in play. This action does not provoke attacks of opportunity. Yes. Yes, so you can do this anywhere. That's very cool. Although I will say, again, for the purposes of solo, this guy's not a Geist. This guy's a real dude. And I don't see no other Geists yet. Okay. Have I drawn my encounter card? No. What is it? Enervating touch. So this is the ghosts reaching out to, like, grab a hold of the food at the table, and there seem to be dozens of them, and then suddenly hundreds. Suddenly, the whole room is filled with the grasping, clutching hands of the dead. Test Combat 3. Okay. Treat your investigator's printed text box as if it were blank. Fine by me. Okay, we're back around to the investigation phase. I'm going to save my game and take a quick break. I think we're doing pretty well. I have to find Madeline either here or in the crypt. And then I don't know how we're going to defeat the evil before this place collapses on itself. I feel like I still have quite a few rounds, but we'll see how it goes. Folks, we're going to be back, and we'll see you on Doomed in just a couple of minutes to finish up The Fall of the House of Usher, starring Gloria Goldberg. See you in a sec. Hello, and welcome back to Doomed. Solo playthroughs through Arkham Horror, the card game, with a focus on roleplay and storytelling. Today, Gloria Goldberg, the writer, the clairvoyant who saw a vision of the end times and decided that she needed to stop it. And the only way she could think to do that is to tie it to a clear and present evil through her fiction. The evil that dwells in the house of Usher. Usher being a family name and not the famous R&B artist. We're back! We're back here on Doomed. In terms of just checking out kind of where we are at our board state here, Roderick's studio has been ruined, crushed under collapsing, plaster, and the roof has collapsed there. We have no other ruined the banquet hall was ruined. And then otherwise we have no other ruined locations, which means we still have time, because the agenda only advances when all of the locations are ruined. Gloria is in the midst of hunting for Madeline Usher, who broke free from her live burial in the crypt, killed her brother, Roderick, the last of the Ushers, other than her, I suppose. She is now on the hunt for her. There seem to be ghosts clambering, in this case they would be clambering for, I still have to think about it every time, for the food in the banquet hall. Oh, welcome back, Crosshair. I'm also just back. I was just recapping where we were. Gloria is on the hunt for Madeline, the last of the Ushers, ghost or no, to see if maybe she can tell her what the hell is going on in this place. I drew, for my encounter card, I drew Enervating Touch, which makes my printed text box blank, which is fine. Oh, good. Okay, well, I'm hoping soon, Crosshair. I'm going to use Alyssa Graham free trigger to look at the top card of the encounter deck. I'm not using Gloria's ability because she doesn't have one. Because of the ghosts, you see. Ah. The Luminous Phantasm. Ooh. Cool design, guys. It spawns at any empty location, ruined if possible. Hunter, retaliate, 3/2/3, so that's all like pretty standard. Forced effect. When Luminous Phantasm attacks you, you must either take 2 horror, so it does 2 horror, or draw the topmost curse in the encounter discard pile. You cannot choose an option if it wouldn't do anything. This is very cool stuff. Obviously, Gloria can see that the ghosts around the table sort of like desperately trying to feed on the last meal that they'll have here before the house collapses around them. Maybe they're going to get angry. So that goes back on top. It's going to spawn at any empty ruined location, so up at Roderick's studio, I think. We could action draw the encounter card. Yeah. Well, that's a good question, Crosshair, right? If there's a bunch of cards in the discard pile and you're like, oh, I'll choose the curse, and then you look through and there's no curses. It's like, well, did you try? Did it alter the game state? I looked at cards. What if I shuffle the encounter discard pile? I am at a ruined location, so I'm just going to spend an action and draw the card here. Because I think this is Madeline. I think Madeline Usher is here at the banquet hall. And I think we're about to find out. It is not Madeline Usher. Oh god, the house is collapsing. Oh no. Oh no! Collapsing Ruin. Test Agility 2. This test gets +1 difficulty if there is 2 or more damage on your location. Yes. And +1 difficulty if you're at a ruined or cursed location. Yes. If you fail, take a damage. If you fail by 2 or more, also lose an action. Well, okay, I'm definitely... Oh, this is fucked. All right, I have 1 agility. That's heavy, man. I will test agility, and I think I'm about to get absolutely smash-a-roonied. +1. I should have committed a card. I still fail by 2 or more. Marion. Who's Marion? Marion Tavares from the Drowned City. Gloria launches back from the table and throws herself out of the door as the ceiling here collapses as well, beams crushing the table as her leg is also caught by a falling piece of masonry, a nasty gash opening up on the back of it. She's barely walking as it is, and she's lost her cane. This is not ideal. I fail, I have to take a damage, and I have to lose an action. Mademoiselle Gloria has 5 health, so it's sort of a good, not great situation. I don't need to look. This is Madeline in the crypt. Of course, she was in the crypt. I'd like to get there. So I guess I need to just keep moving, right? Yeah. She rushes down to the wine cellar. Despite prohibition, the Ushers have several casks of wine stocked. Claret, Cabernet, Pinot Noir, even Amontillado. Okay. In the enemy phase, the secretive steward hunts into the wine cellar. It's strange, Gloria thinks, as she sees a figure moving just sort of at the top of the stairs. I could have sworn that man was crushed in Roderick's studio. How is he still alive? If you've seen Fall of the House of Usher, the TV show, I will say that this is Lenore, and that's all I will say. Not Lenore. Shit. The woman. You know what I'm talking about. But he's aloof, so we're not dead yet. Oh, that was my last action. Upkeep. Brings me a crystal pendulum. That's exciting. That's a very exciting thing to find down here in the, not Lenore shit. This is Enervating Touch, discards at the end of the round, so I have my ability back, but I don't want to use it, so that's okay. We come back around to the mythos phase. I place a doom on the agenda, which instead of... I could ruin some more locations, but I think I'll just go 2 on the Manor Chapel and another 1 on Usher Family Crypt. It looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds left. Is that right? Maybe 5? 5, I think. And we draw an encounter card, which I know what it is. It's this Luminous Phantasm. Yes. Yeah. I haven't ruined any other locations. Yeah, the crypt can take more, because it has 6. I'm allowed to divide it up, right? So I'm trying not to ruin locations as much as possible, but I think we're okay. This is ruined. This is ruined. And nothing else is. Yeah, crosshair. Yeah, sorry, yeah. So I put 1 on the family crypt, and I put 1 on the chapel, I think. I was just divvying it up. But then next round, yes, I could put 2 here, and there would be still no shift. Right. We drew the Luminous Phantasm, which is a ghost from beyond the light, right? Oh, if I wanted to ruin the crypt. Oh, I see. I don't think so. Only because I'm scared of what happens when the crypt gets ruined. It's a crypt. It has ghosts in it, right? I see what you're saying, though, because it's a double action to draw a card. It has 6 Shroud. I don't think I'd be able to get there. No, I wouldn't have. Luminous Phantasm spawns at any empty location ruined if possible. So I will spawn it up here at Roderick's studio. This is presumably the ghost of Roderick Usher. Or of the servant before he was reincarnated or whatever. Okay. We're back around to the investigation phase. I think what we want to do is pretty straightforward. I think what we want to do is move into the crypt and double action draw Madeline Usher. Do we use Alyssa? Yes. Pestilent Vapor is a curse. We've seen this already. It would be in the crypt that there would be a Pestilent Vapor. So each investigator discards a card at random, choose and discard 2, or discard the top 3 cards of your deck. I don't mind. I don't think this is such a big deal, to be honest, so I'll just put that back on top. I'm not too worried about it. Let's go 1, 2, 3, as I said. So move in, double action. Double action, draw an encounter card under my location. Gloria makes her way down The wine cellar leads into a stone spiral staircase. Somehow she knows exactly where to go, despite having never been to this strange rambling manor before. The air grows darker and cooler, and there's a rational part of her brain that thinks to herself, you know, if the house is indeed collapsing around me, I will certainly never make it out of here alive. And yet, this is where I must go. This is where Madeline came up from, and probably where she still haunts. I regarded her with an utter astonishment not unmingled with dread, and yet I found it impossible to account for such feelings. Madeline Usher, neither living nor dead. Revelation. That's fun. Each investigator may draw a card. Discard Madeline Usher. Well, I'd like to draw a card. Tagliete. Taglio. Punishment equal to the injury sustained. Retaliation. That's fun. I didn't know that. Thanks, Crosshair. Madeline Usher entered the discard pile as they stare at each other, so I can advance to Act 3. Or rather, Act 2B, Centuries of Evil. You search the rooms for any sign of Madeline Usher, and discover, in the crypt, a small locket, perhaps dropped by Roderick or Madeline herself. Inside, you find the silhouette of a young woman. Why have you not fled? A quiet but grim voice echoes around you. The ghost of Madeline Usher materializes before you once more, fixated at the locket in your hands. The house of Usher has fallen. The creature in the tarn has claimed us, even my dear brother. There was a note of sourness in her voice at the mention of Roderick, because she killed him, you see. You explain that you came to purge the house of its evils, brackets, and prevent the ending of the world, and that you still intend to, but Madeline only stares blankly. Purge. Such a thing cannot be simply slain as a wild beast would be. Its strength is drawn from 300 years of leeching the souls of the Ushers. You think for a moment and ask her if there is still power in the spirits of the Ushers that haunt the manor. Madeline's brow unfurls slightly at the suggestion. There is. My ancestors were tainted and depraved, and hold the bitterness of eternity shackled to their tormentor. You might harness their rage, and mine. Ooh, harnessing the rage of dead spirits. You go, girl. Shuffle each card under a location. Ancestral taint. Shuffle each card under a location and the encounter discard pile back into the encounter deck, including Madeline, because she's in the encounter discard pile, right? Yeah. Put the set-aside The Tarn into play and place 2 damage on it. Spawn the set-aside The Thing from the Tarn at the Tarn. Guys, what's the Tarn? What is a Tarn? Can someone look up Tarn for me, please? I've never heard this word before in my fucking life. Oh, okay, I happened to put it there. The Tarn and The Thing from the Tarn. Let's read the act before we read the thing. Act 3A, Ancestral Corruption. Oh, a small mountain lake! Oh, like the dark place in Alan Wake. Madeline's gaze pans slowly about, as if staring through walls and floors. You must find a way to beseech my ancestors. Remnants of their lives are displayed throughout the house. Invoke them by name. Empower their rage. Direct it at the thing in the tarn beneath us. Action. If you are at the tarn, spend a clue. Parley. Discard the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Interesting. Reaction. After a Geist card enters the encounter discard pile, right? So you petition the ghosts of the house. Deal 2 damage to the thing from the tarn. Objective. If the thing from the tarn is defeated, advance. Well, exactly. Gee, what are you guys doing over here? What are you trying to harness its power? What are you doing? Let's have a look. The Tarn. Perhaps the eye of a scrutinizing observer might have discovered a barely perceptible fissure, which, extending from the roof of the building in front, made its way down the wall in a zigzag direction until it became lost in the sullen waters of the tarn. So the crack is... Okay. So the House of Usher is collapsing from water damage, but the water damage is supernaturally charged water damage. Let's have a look at the thing from the tarn, shall we? It's an ancestral evil, a classic. Oh, it's an elite ancient one. Okay, so it has 6 health. Hey, you guys! I hate that guy. Massive. Victory 1. 2 combat, 2 agility, 6 health. It would have way more health in multiplayer, which I get. The thing from the tarn cannot move or be moved. Forced. After an investigator deals damage to the thing from the tarn from any source other than the reaction ability on the act, I see how it is. The thing from the tarn readies and makes an immediate attack against that investigator, regardless of location. If 3 or more damage was dealt to the thing from the tarn immediately before this attack, it deals +1 damage and +1 horror. Okay. So it has Mega Retaliate. If you attack it, if you deal damage to the thing from the tarn through any ability that isn't discarding a Geist by by enlisting the presence of the Usher ghosts, then it attacks you for 2 damage and 2 horror, and maybe 3 damage and 3 horror. Right, Flower, I feel like the lore here makes sense, right? You're petitioning the ghosts of the Ushers to do your dirty work and, like, undo the thing from the tarn. Oh, I have to place 2 damage on the tarn. Yeah, so I'm feeling that now, Crosshair, and I'm starting to realize that maybe having something like scrying or whatever. Well, I have something like scrying. I just haven't seen it. Where are all my cards that looks at cards? Gushers. Oh, God. Audio G, hello. Welcome to Doomed. Wonderful to have you with us. Gloria Goldberg, the writer, is investigating. Is trying to prevent the end of the world, and is doing so by destroying an ancient evil beneath a lake, beneath the House of Usher. Shriveling does 2 damage, so I would have to triple shrivel Flower, because it has 6 damage. 6 health, rather, sorry. Could I soak? Probably not. I can soak 1 hit, but not 2. Because of the health, you see. because that brick fell on my leg, you see. I do have a Spectral Razor, which does 2 damage against elite enemies. Crystal Pendulum, Eureka. Okay, this is good shit. Oh, this is the end of my turn anyway, right? I can also spend clues at the tarn to discard cards from the encounter deck. I'm sorry to say, Crosshair, I'm not sure what you mean. I am going to go to the enemy phase. Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, I see what you're saying, Crosshair. Yes, that is, I think, where I'm going to head. If I can keep the portrait gallery alive, then I can look at the top card of the encounter deck and discard it if it's a ghost, a Geist. We can speak to the Geists. I am at the end of my turn. Enemy phase. The thing from the tarn cannot move or be moved, so it is beneath the tarn. It's beneath the house. The secretive steward enters the family crypt. I think Gloria cannot see this. I will go to upkeep. I will ready, draw a card, gain a resource, and... Is it? Oh, a humanoid and a cultist. A bowels. That would be huge, right? If I could psychic sensitivity and just, like, blow it out of the water, that would be amazing. The Gushers, ghosts, and Geists of Ushers are Gushers. Aragwen, what are you on about? Yeah, ghosts and Geists of Ushers. The Gushers. I love a good portmanteau. Gushers is not the portmanteau that I was hoping for today. Okay. I drew Ineffable Truth, which, again, in contention for some pretty sweet art. Duh. This is an evasion spell, which our good friend Gloria desperately needs, but perhaps not that badly. Okay. We've upkept, so we go to Mythos phase, where I place a Doom on the agenda, and instead place 2 Doom on the family crypt, because the Secretive Steward is now actively trying to dismantle the house around us. No ruined locations yet, and we draw an encounter card, which I looked at already, but I can't remember what it is. Oh, I shuffled. I did shuffle. Fuck, shit! It's Morbid Acuteness. I think we're okay. Morbid Acuteness. Test Will 3. Okay, I would like to pass it this time, please. I will commit Eureka to this test. There is a dampness and a chill. Yes, I had looked at vapors and then I shuffled, so that's right. There is a... Thank you, Crosshair. Oh, that's so kind. There is a damp and chill in the air of the crypt, which Gloria realizes is not good for her health. Let us test 3 up, 6 to 3. I think that's... There are -4s, but I can't be bothered to commit any other card. Well, no, I can't be bothered to commit any other cards. -2. Okay. Finally. A success. Finally. Morbid. A cuties. Cuties. Okay. Success. Search the top 3 cards of my deck for a card and draw it. I am going to take Whispers of Doom. Is that right? Yes. Oh, shoot. Sorry. There's a hunter as well, isn't there? I should have hunted. The Luminous Phantasm hunts to the Grand Hall, which is good news. Yeah. 100% flower. Yeah. Yes. The forced abilities are when it's equal. Yeah. Aw, cuties. I forgot to have the Luminous Phantasm hunt. Gloria has a eureka moment down in the crypt as she speaks to Madeline, as she begins to understand that the thing from the tarn, the beast within, the thing that has been giving its power to the Ushers for all of these years, and also drawing power from them, it can be defeated if... Pulls out a flashlight, the entire... Yeah, if you look up, it collapses on you, right? So if you don't look up, it's fine. Gloria can defeat this evil by essentially petitioning the spirits around her. We're back around to my turn. I'm going to use Alyssa Graham to look at the top card of the encounter deck. It's a Collapsing Ruin. Thanks, I hate it. I'm absolutely putting this at the bottom of the discard pile because I also want to see more Geists. So I place a Doom on Alyssa Graham. As a reminder, Doom on assets will cause me to take damage or horror, but as Crosshair pointed out, she is just... The memory... Alyssa Graham is just going to be driving herself mad. Okay. It's a very simple turn. Trojans do not trust this house. Whatever it may be, I feel it weaks, even when it wears the gifts. Achilles! A cuties! Alright. Gloria has her eureka moment. Gloria knows what she must do. She must essentially banish Geists down into the depths beneath the tarn and create a ghostly army. I'm gonna go move up to the Grand Hall, where the Luminous Phantasm engages me. It's a 3/2/3. Let me just see what else I can do here. I have a Spectral Razor. Whispers of Doom allows you to defeat an enemy, but I would rather just... I think I'm just going to shrivel it. Pow! So, last action, Gloria makes her way back up into the main hall where strange spiritual creature, like Yeah, creatures, humanoid creatures, forms of previous ushers float about, unsure where to go and what to do. They have had their final meal, and they are now waiting simply for the end. As one begins to float towards her, she remembers how she sent the ancient ancestor of Roderick back to the grave, and attempts to replicate this. I'm fighting. I have willpower. I have 7 willpower with shriveling. 7 to 4. Do I have -5 in the bag? Yeah, no. 7 to 4. Nice. The luminous phantasm just evaporates in front of her. And as the Geist enters the discard pile, I can deal 2 damage to the thing from the tarn. We're getting there. As long as I do another 2 damage, I can probably get in there and just knock it down, is the hope. Okay. Okay. Nice. That's the end of that. In the enemy phase, the secretive steward hunts back to the wine cellar. He's coming for Gloria, but hopefully not, hopefully not right away. Upkeep brings us a shortcut. I will take that in a heartbeat. My maximum hand size is 6, so I'm still okay. At the beginning of the mythos phase, I must move this doom to the agenda or take a horror, and I will put the horror on Alyssa Graham. Thanks, Alyssa. I appreciate all of your service. Then we place a doom, which causes 2 more damage. 1 on the wine cellar, 1 on the Usher family crypt. Oh, and I could infinitely place damage on the tarn. Maybe? How does that work? I place damage among decadent locations in play. I did flower. It was a... No, I didn't. Sorry. Oh! Yeah. Yeah, correct. But why would I do that? Oh, because I could put it at the bottom again, right? That's what you're saying? No, there's no... Hang on. No. There's no window between cards readying and drawing an encounter card. You ready the exhausted card, and then you have no free triggers until the player window after drawing or the player window during drawing. Which is sad, but also makes sense. I understand that would be a little like... Yeah. Okay. Oh, music? Again? Wow. Man, I am so busy with music. Okay. What did I just do? Mythos. I just almost ruined a couple more locations. We gotta find some Geists, baby! Let us draw an encounter card. It is Nervous Affliction. If you do not control any clues, it gains Surge. We're looking for Geists, guys. We're looking for Geists. Decayed Legacy. Fuck's sake. Oh. I gotta just deal with this. That's... Actually, I think this is okay. I'm just gonna double action discard it. The legacy of the Ushers is one of, well, decay, as it says. The legacy of the Ushers, Gloria writes, is one of sloth. Their laziness, their inability to combat the beast that dwelt underneath their own home, their greed for hoping to use it to their own advantage, has ruined them, and now the Ushers must all be ended. Okay, we're back around to me. I am going to double action discard Decayed Legacy. I don't like it. Then I'm going to use... No, hang on. Is that right? They ushered in their own demise! Sheesh! I like that. Shortcut moves me into the Portrait Gallery, sorry. Now, what order do I want to do this in? Choose and discard a card from your hand. Look at the top card of the encounter deck. You may discard that card. And then I would use Alyssa. So if I use Alyssa first, I would have to doom it to the bottom. I think I use the discard first. And I discard a card from hand. Sorry. Yeah, choose and discard a card from your hand. Look at the top card of the encounter deck. I'm still not using Gloria's ability. It's a Luminous Phantasm. Oh, that'd be so good, Crosshair. But it's okay. This is potentially better. You may discard that card. It's a Geist. 2 more damage goes on the thing from the Tarn. Gloria can see that sort of, it's a Portrait of Dorian Gray situation. Even as the house, the home, is collapsing around her, even as it is being shaken to its foundation, the portraits are still immaculately on the wall. Melted, to be sure, disfigured, yes, but pristine in their frames. This is the key, she realizes. And she beseeches them for help, and hears a roar from down below. Free trigger? Alyssa Graham? The servant of 2 masters. Oh, I don't like that at all. No, I want to get rid of this. I'm going to put another Doom on Alyssa to put this at the bottom of the encounter deck. Because now, as again, Prophecy of the End has absolutely screwed me beyond belief here, but like, normally I think Gloria would do very well in this scenario. And it makes sense, does it not? Enemy phase. The secretive steward steps lightly, softly, up to the grand hall. Gloria desperately typing out an end to her story that does not involve her own demise, but instead involves the destruction of the ancestral evil deep beneath the house of Usher. Enemy phase done. Upkeep brings us a promise of power. So much doom on Alyssa Graham. Mythos phase begins. I have to either move doom to the agenda or take damage. Of course I don't, Aragwen. You hear it, don't you? I'm going to put a horror on Alyssa and a horror on me. We're getting close to the truth, so I'm really getting excited about this. You know what, Crosshair? Maybe she would too. Huh. Okay. Then I place a Doom on the agenda, which causes me to place Doom and ruin more locations. Let's go with the private library and the wine cellar. Those seem like good places to ruin. The left side of the house. The fissure running through the house has collapsed most of the shelves, making it a challenge to stay alert while picking through the debris. If you die in the story, you die in the story. Investigators at private library get -2 skill value during revelation effects. And the wine cellar says the house's destruction has shattered some of the wine barrels, leaving the floor soaked with liquid and debris. When you would move from wine cellar, test agility 2. If you fail, take a damage or cancel the effects of the move. Well, we're not going back down there so far. Dwayne The Rock Johnson? Yeah, Aragwen, you gotta be careful, okay? All right, everybody. We've ruined more locations. Aragwen, let's go find some gushers. Mythos. We done that. I have to now draw an encounter card. Prophecy of the End? No. Enshrouded Host. Ooh! Leekweed? Oh, liquid. Leekweed. Put Enshrouded Host into play next to the agenda deck. Ugh. Horrible. Okay, that's another agenda effect. Each location gains Haunted. Take a damage. Okay, well, maybe I don't investigate anymore. Fuck off! You're right! Oh my god, Crosshair, you're right! Test Willpower 4. If you have accepted the Usher's hospitality, you get +2 willpower for this test. Let's go. Let's go. It's time. Oh, we're pleased. Okay. Okay. We're here in the portrait gallery. Enshrouded host. This is the portraits have the ghosts of the ushers trapped within them. And Gloria screams at them all. Are the hallucinations also geists? No. That would be pretty good, but they are not. That does make sense too, right? Although I suppose they could be geists, but anyway. She begins to throw the paintings, rip them off the wall, and throw them into a pile, where she proceeds to start to carve them up. Their spirits are housed within. Painting the portrait of one of the previous owners enshrines their spirit here on the wall forever. And the Gushers must be free to defeat the thing from the Tarn, you see. First action, I'm going to play Crystal Pendulum, which gives me +1 willpower. I'm going to use Alyssa Graham only because I really want to get rid of the Prophecy of the End. It's not. It's a Scion of Usher. I'm going to put it back on top because it's another Geist, just in case something happens, I guess. Second action. Test willpower 4. I did accept the Usher's hospitality, so I have 8 willpower. Alyssa cannot discard. Sadly. She can doom to put it at the bottom. So she cannot prevent things from coming. She can only delay the inevitable, which is pretty dope. Again, very cool. Now, if I had been really brave, I could have gone, look at the top. I could have used Gloria's reaction, but obviously I would have been defeated if I had done that. Sorry, I could have potentially been defeated. Let's do this instead. Yeah, exactly, Crosshair. But let's instead burn these portraits and unleash the spirits of 10 generations of Ushers upon the thing from the Tarn. I am testing willpower 8 to 4, and I'm going to commit this promise of power just for funsies. I go up to 12. I am being promised power. The power here is to control... Well, not to control the Geist, but to direct them at something that is coming. I have 12 willpower. After a skill test at your location begins, exhaust the Crystal Pendulum, name a number. If the test succeeds by, or fails by, that number, draw a card. I'm at 12 to 4. I'm going to say succeed or fail by 6? Is that crazy? 6. Lusai. Should have said 7. No, hang on. Okay. There is 2 damage on my location, so I have -5. So I am reduced to 7 to 4. I succeed by 3. We pass. The Enshrouded Host goes in the discard pile. 2 more damage goes on the thing from the Tarn, which defeats it. The thing from the Tarn is defeated because it has 6 damage on it. Whoa. Victory displays over here on Solo, huh? Ushered out. Unbelievable. You scour the crumbling house of Usher to uncover the family's sordid past. Each foul deed and profane act that the Ushers committed for the thing in the Tarn is made known to you. These are visions and so on, right? Revealing the true name and nature of the spirits haunting the house. Oh, Graspy Loot, we just finished. Sorry, buddy. I'll give you the recap. I'm just going to finish reading the resolution. You invoke this power against the monstrous being in the Tarn, breaking its hold on the souls of the Ushers. With violent, furious thrashing, it descends back into the darkness of the Tarn, and at last silence reigns over the house of Usher. R2. We will read R2. In brief, Graspy Loot, Gloria Goldberg made her way to the house of Usher because she had a big vision of the end times when she came to Arkham. Alan Wake style, she used her writing to tie the end of the world to the fall of the house of Usher, to this man, Roderick Usher, and his helm. If she could purge the evil from it, then it would also prevent the end of the world. She went, she defeated some ghosts, she shriveled some enemies, She wrote a chapter where she had a flashback chapter where she talked with a ghost speaker, a psychic. Pretty dope. And long story short, I used my ability a couple of times, but then I drew enough prophecies of the end that I could no longer use my ability. For fun, Crosshair, if I had used my ability, there is no prophecy of the end on top. One more? Nope. One more? Nope. Okay, well, now I'm just looking at too many. Okay, now I'm just going to do 12. Oh, okay, it's like way at the bottom. All right, okay. Let us read R2. I will tell Graspy Loot, how did Gloria feel to play? Great. A lot of fun. A 5 willpower mystic with 4 intellect. Pretty powerful, even when her ability is essentially turned off by not having cards that look at the encounter deck and drawing the things that, correct, Crosshair. Yeah. And also having cards beneath her that then turn her ability off and, whatever. Even that... Oh, okay. I do, Graspy Loot. Now, your choice, Graspy Loot, but here's the 2 Glorias. I mean, come on. Who's this? Who's this old lady at the diner? Who's this badass? Alan Waken all over the cabin. All right, sorry, I have to read R2. She was a lot of fun. This only had 9 XP, so I can see how she'd get even more powerful. And in multiplayer. Oh, there's Resolution 2. Resolution 2. You trudge slowly out the cracked door of the manor and look up at the broken ruin. What little remains of the house stands like a skeleton above the still waters of the tarn. There is nothing left here for you, or anyone else, you can only hope. The Usher family is no more, and you pray that no one ever returns to awaken the thing in the tarn. You can take Little back to Arkham with you, but Madeline's locket as proof of your deed, though you swear you can still feel her silent spirit following you as you depart the grounds. In your campaign log, record that the investigators avenged the House of Usher. Any one investigator may choose to add Faded Silhouette to their deck. If an investigator took control of a copy of The Mad Tryst, they may choose to add that version of The Mad Tryst to their deck. I don't know what that is, so I'm going to skip that. So Faded Silhouette. Each investigator earns Victory X, 2, because I did not go experience hunting. Oh, that's it. Oh, and it's been fixed? This is the vision, right? This was the sun and the fire coming through the crack, huh? Crosshair, hey. Bouquet. Exactly. I do agree, though, Graspy Loot. The scan, the resolution on the old Gloria is not very good. Like it's kind of out of focus and stuff, but I think it's kind of charming. Let's have a look at Faded Silhouette and see what our good friend Gloria is picking up in this doomed... Oh. Faded Silhouette, Memento Mori. Permanent. As you hold the silhouette in your hand, you hear faint whispers on the wind. During this... Oh. I don't think I knew that, actually, Graspy Loot. Although that does... It's ringing a bell. During the setup of each scenario, search the collection for Madeline Usher and shuffle her into the encounter deck. Madeline Usher, as a reminder, is sort of a star, like a not so good the stars are right. Where are you? Madeline? There she is. So, going forward, Gloria would have the spirit of Madeline Usher in the encounter deck, which allows you to draw a card instead of drawing an encounter card. Pretty sweet. Okay. Gloria, well done. I did not draw any of my cards other than Parallel Fates that let me look at the encounter deck, which is wild. But, there you go. My friends, that'll do it for us today on Doomed. Gloria Goldberg wrote the final... well, exactly, Flower, yes. Arguably... let's say arguably in the sense of, like, player count, right? Although Gloria having this would be dope as hell, because presumably you're playing in a multiplayer game. Okay. Oh, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me on Doomed. Gloria Goldberg rewrote the end of the world by tying it to the destruction and the fall of the corrupted House of Usher. Pretty sweet. Big shout out to The Beard, who I guess does a lot of Arkham content on Tabletop Simulator. Thank you, The Beard. I thought this was a lot of fun. Yeah, join the Discord, of course, if you're not already there. I think you all are. You can find out about upcoming streams. We do have Drew Crew in just about an hour's time. I have to eat something before then. The factility. What the hell is going on with me over here? Thank you, Eric Gwen. Thank you all for being here, actually. This has been a lot of fun. I really liked it. As a reminder, there will be... Yeah, there's Drew Crew in an hour. No Montreal by Moonlight tomorrow. And no streams next weekend from the Cat from any of the RPG Clinic crew. No Punchy, no Friday, no Saturday, no Sunday. Because it's Netrunner Continentals that John and Kate are organizing. And I'm very excited to be playing. And losing, but playing. Hopefully not losing. There will be a Hollywood Animal on Tuesday night. As long as I don't get booked on something. Because my God, we gotta get more movies. The House of Usher. Thank you all for joining me as Gloria Goldberg fights the House of Usher. Thank you all so much. That was a lot of fun. I'll see you next time on Doomed.